Homesteading. We're in the garage this morning, and today we're going to work on the Homelite C5. Yesterday morning we got the pull cord up and running, but I just ran out of time. So this morning we are going to take the carburetor off, clean it up, and hopefully we're going to get it up and running. So let's go. Okay, so we're going to drain the fuel out. Oh my word, that is really stuck. I'm going to have to get channel locks. Okay, so that is absolutely crazy. Okay, we'll just throw that on for now. If you have a chainsaw that hasn't ran for a long time, you really need to clean out the carburetor. Make sure all the passages are clean, because you don't want to have a chainsaw that's perfectly good and you don't clean out the carburetor, you just throw gas in it and it runs lean or something like that. Because what you'll do is you'll just score up the piston and you'll destroy the chainsaw. So it's really important to make sure you clean your carburetor. We'll put an H here and an L here. We are going to stick that in there. These are incredible. They're heavy. Made out of a piece of bar. You know what? All the stuff we make now is so cheap. So there's little seals in here. I am going to leave them in the carburetor till I have the carburetor out. But we got to make sure we remove them before we start blowing through these holes and blow them out. There's a cotter pin on the choke lever. We're going to pull that one out. Pop the linkage off. Okay, so we're going to pop the fuel line off. There you go. We're going to remove these nuts. They're super thin. I have a snap-on thin wrench. It's an extra thin wrench, so it fits perfectly. Makes it easier. Okay, so, well, I dropped that. Okay. So now we're going to pop the linkage off. We're going to set the chainsaw over here. Okay, we're going to put on a clean rag. I'm really hoping I don't have to buy a kit for it, so we're going to be very careful. I get these rags at the Dollar Tree. You know what? They're $1.25 and you get a roll of them. And you know what? You know they're super clean. When you're cleaning carburetors and stuff like that, because I have old rags, you know, old shirts and everything. But, you know, they lie around the shop and everything, and it's definitely worth it. $1.25. They look like shop rags. Super affordable, and you know they're clean. As luck may have it, I have a Tillotson rebuild kit for this carburetor. The reason I have this, I ordered in for my Homelite zip saw rebuild, and you know, I haven't got to it yet, so I can end up ordering another one in. We can actually rebuild this carburetor properly. Okay, so we're gonna pry. We're gonna take this off. Wow, stuck. Okay. Ooh, oh, that's great. I guess we're replacing it anyways, but put this here. Man, these gaskets stick like crazy. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to just set that over here. We're going to clean that up better. Okay, so in here, you pop that up. There's a little gasket and a little screen in here. So I'll leave that there. Make sure everything stays clean. Now we're going to remove your needle and seat and the spring assembly. And this screw goes right up through here, and this is what it pivots on. So we're going to have to remove that. Whoa. We got new ones, but we're going to be careful with that. Pull the pin out. This one has removable seats, so we're going to get a socket and remove the seat. I got a 5/16 socket and I ground it really, really thin. If you don't, it'll never go into the carburetor to remove that seat. There you go. So there you go. Okay, the main jet seat's out. We removed the high and low jet here. That's all you really have to remove to clean the carburetor. We're going to get some carb cleaner. We're going to blow it in all the holes, and then we're going to start reassembling. In each hole, get in here. In the high, in the low jet. There's a jet in the bottom here. Make sure you have your safety glasses. We're going to blow out all the ports. Your main jet, we're going to blow that out. We're going to blow out any hole. We're going to blow at the high. We're going to blow at the low. We're going to try to blow out that little passage in there. Okay, there's not too many passages in here, but we're going to make sure all the passages are clean. I scraped off all the gasket. We made sure all the holes, it's all clean. This plate is all clean. There's nothing stuck in the holes. I got a new rag here. We're going to lay out the kit. Here. Set that there. This one here. Get your little brass washer at the bottom. And then make sure that it's flat down in there. And there's a little rubber seat that pushes into the end. So there you go, you can see it. And you put it in the carburetor. And make sure that you don't strip it. Just gently screw it into the aluminum. Okay, so there you go. So right in this little hole, you're going to set the spring. We're going going to get the new needle and we're going to hang it on the little lever assembly. And we're going to slide the needle into the brass. Oh, it's hard to show you. There. And make sure that the spring fits in this little divot right there. We're going to throw the hinge pin in. Tighten that up. The manual says this lever has to be flush with this piece. I am a hair up. So what I'm going to do is hold down on the needle, give it a little bit of a shove, and then see if I can still seems a hair high. Okay, so we're going to check again. That seems flush. So what you want is this lever to be flush with the actual carburetor housing. So where you adjust it is basically bending it right here. And then you check. Returns nice. Okay, so you first put the gasket on. You push it over the little dowels. Then you've got your diaphragm with this little piece, and that pushes on the needle assembly. So you put that on. Make sure that goes over these little dowels. So it's going to sit like that. Here's a line up dowel, line up dowel, line up dowel. All these holes have to line up. And this one is the one that's the little bulge. It comes out a little farther on the carburetor. See this hole here? That's going to line up with this little spot. So you're going to wiggle it till it sits down on these dowels. This gasket sits over here, fits on the dowels. These are your little valves. It's really important not to bend those up. You just gently set the whole piece down. And you see that little piece lines up with here. And you gently move it. And that should be in place. We're gonna get these screws started. So there you go, that's tight. Make sure your screen is clean. Your gasket. Put this plate. And your screw has a little gasket there so it doesn't leak. Okay, that's tight. Now we're going to check to see if the needle and seat is actually working inside the carburetor. I got a vacuum gauge. If you pump the handle, you got vacuum here. If you pump the handle here, you got pressure. Get a rubber line, put it onto the fuel inlet of the carburetor. Stick it on this port. When you pump it up, it won't show up on the gauge because that's a vacuum gauge. But if you go like this, the handle will return. You can hear the hiss. So you know that the needle and seat is working properly. Throw a new gasket on. Make sure that this hole is not covered up by the gasket when you put it on. I'm going to throw the choke lever on. Install the cotter pin. So we're going to reinstall the high jet seal. And the little steel washer. I'm going to take the high jet and slide it through, put the spring on, and then get it going into the carburetor. You have to be very careful you don't strip the carburetor. Just go very gently and don't push in. Just allow the threads to take it. Okay, it's bottomed out. I'm going to go out 1 1/4. So now we'll do the low one. We stick it with the taper in. The little washer. I should have put those on before I put the carburetor in there. That was a mistake. So we get the low jet, stick it through, put the spring. Just gently allow it to get the threads. Till it bottoms out. I'll take it 1 1/4. I'm going to throw the air filter on it. Put the cover back on. I pretty well ran out of time this morning, but we'll throw a bit of fuel in it and see if it'll fire up. Okay, so let's see if this thing fires up. Oh, hearing protection. This thing's super loud. That thing is awesome. It's even loud with the hearing protection. Carburetor's all done. Everything's good. I have to adjust it a little bit better, but otherwise it's running awesome. So that's about enough for today. You guys have a good one.